Well, this had better be good.
Good morning, Cabana campers. This is Sandy Sunday. This is my weekly talk show, which airs every Sunday sometimes. And this is the Cruise Cabana, and I'm delighted to be here. And on this week's episode of Sandy Sundays, we will be discussing what?
Some inaugural cruise changes that are not very good.
What you talking about?
Oh, we'll get into it. But they've made some changes to a couple of inaugurals, and one of them affected us. And then...
That doesn't sound really good. We're going to be talking about saving money.
Yes, we are. We've got ways for you to save money as a choosy cruiser. We save quite a bit of money on a couple of cruises coming up, as well as shore excursions.
Oh, well, that's good, because we're going to need all the money we can get if we want to enjoy grapefruit juice or cranberry juice on certain cruise lines. Don't cry. It's okay. It's okay. It's going to, maybe they'll reconsider these ridiculous draconian policies.
For those of you that want to follow Sandy and Sandy's antics, like, subscribe.
Yeah, and thank you for your comments thus far. And we really appreciate your appreciation of my humor.
Yes.
Thank you very much. You know who you are out there.
Yes. It was a very good foul joke comment. I like that. Keep them coming.
And when I say you know who you are out there, I am not, by the way, referring to my ex-girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she was a crab. I met her one day on the beach. And, I call her my old bae.
Your old bae? Oh, my gosh.
Thank you very much.
I do.
I'll be here till Sunday.
Eat the roast beef.
I'll be here every Sunday, sometimes.
Sometimes.
This morning, a little bleary-eyed especially with all the weird changes that are going on.
Yeah, with the inaugural cruises. We had our inaugural cruise date, hijacked.
Inaugurals. Is it inaugural or is it not an inaugural?
Right. What's a pre-inaugural, pre-inaugural, pre-naming inaugural?
Inaugural or not to inaugural?
Right.
That is the question.
Right. And it's like we paid a premium to be on this cruise. And, you do your travels, you get your travel dates taken care of at work, and then you book your cruise travel, and they hijack it.
Savings. We get, if you can involve savings, maybe it takes some of the sting out of this.
Yeah, when you book ahead of time, at least you can scope out prices and
big savings.
Yeah.
The top secrets to big savings. We're going to be talking about that.
We saved a lot of money, but we're not on the inaugural, really. They're calling it the inaugural cruise, but it's not really the cruise inaugural.
Yeah. So how do you get the best value for your cruise dollar?
Exactly. How do you become a choosy cruiser from the Choose Cabana?
Savvy cruisers.
Savvy cruiser, or choosy cruiser from the Cruise Cabana.
Well, welcome to the Cruise Cabana. Here we are. I'm Wayne. This is Stacia, and this is our Cruise Cabana.
And we're going to show you how to get the most out of traveling by a cruise ship. But we want you to be aware, if you too book an inaugural cruise, what can potentially happen. Our travel plans were set in stone, and then the cruise line decided to change all of that.
Hold on now. If you guys keep this up much longer, you're really going to upset the Big Woo. We're introducing a new character on the Cruise Cabana.
Okay.
The Big Woo.
Okay. You're going to upset the Big Woo.
Check this out, man. So that's the Big Woo there, back there on the wall with the blue eyes.
Yeah.
Don't you make my red eyes blue. What was that song in the 70s by Linda Carter and the...
Brown Eyes Blue.
So, he's chill right now. He's got those big baby blues. He's kind of in Sinatra mind frame right now,
But you're going to upset him.
But if you upset him, go ahead, try it.
Yeah.
Tell the Big Woo about what's going on. This is an example. Let's see.
Woo.
Who dares awaken the mighty Woo?
Hey, so Woo, listen into what I'm telling our audience. We had booked the Royal Caribbean Star of the Seas inaugural cruise. We paid a premium price. We took our vacation time so that we would be on that cruise, rearranged work, and guess what? Royal Caribbean is taking the cruise ship early, taking delivery of this cruise ship early, not once, not twice, but 3 times early. 3 pre-inaugural cruises are happening before the official inaugural cruise.
Oh, wow. That's like the mystical number 3, Woo? What do you think about that, man?
That's not good.
Oh.
Welcome to your doom.
You know, the inauguration, the inaugural, like Lincoln's first and second inaugural address. It doesn't matter. They're both the same.
This is our first time to ever book an inaugural, and we were really excited. You know, we've always heard about all the festivities. You're the first ones to sleep in the bed. You're the first ones to be able to experience all the different restaurants, and womp womp, they changed it.
Well, and my question is, like, do they do this knowingly? Like, because think about it, right? It's like it's a way of selling, double booking your inaugural cruise. And I think we're onto you guys. I've had it with these shenanigans.
It's like you tend to pay a little more to be on the inaugural, and hopefully we've got the naming ceremony ahead of time and everybody's in a festive mood, but it looks like they're splitting it up now over 4 or 5 different cruises, and that's not fair. Not fair at all. We did get a price reduction out of it, but I don't know if that made it okay. And so we had the initial Royal Caribbean Star of the Seas inaugural booked August 31st. And
the Star.
And they moved it.
Yeah, they moved it after we booked it, after we got all excited about it, thinking we're going to be on the inaugural cruise. First one's here.
They're like, whoop, whoop, we're getting the ship early. It's going to be available early. Now, there have been cruises where it goes the opposite way. They don't get the ship in time.
Well, to be fair, I mean, it's difficult to time something like the construction of a massive vessel and the delivery of it, like with any amount of perfect exactitude. Maybe unless you're willing to build some fudge into the schedule to get the date that you want, but then that's going to cost them money. So things happen, like weather, like, you know, they can't always control, you know, maybe the ship's done early, they want to take delivery early, or it's late, sometimes even worse. So got to give them a little bit of a pass on this, but it seems like this hasn't been a problem in the past. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just don't know that it's historically been a problem, but it felt like years ago when we started cruising, like if you booked the inaugural cruise, like that's when it was going to be, and that was it. And, you know, I'm trying to think of what inaugural cruises we did. We did the inaugural cruise on was it the Horizon?
Yeah. We've never done an inaugural.
Yes, we have. So inaugural season, we did Carnival, yes. Horizon, no, Celebration.
On the
December
Celebration, we've actually done quite a few cruises throughout their first year. We've done quite a few of our cruise history. That was our MO for a long time.
So inaugural season is still pretty cool. We did we did that on the Carnival Celebration, but December 1st, 2022 out of Miami, Western Caribbean. And to be fair, like that was a great cruise, although I think that was the one that we got soured on Carnival. We kind of closed the book.
No, we actually liked that. It was the Vista.
It was the Vista. Right. Yeah, that's a whole nother video.
Yeah, because we had the best ship, the best suite on board, and it was not.
Yeah.
We got nothing for it except a creaky cabin.
And we could review that. Maybe I will review that because we have a lot of footage, and we weren't actively doing cruise reviews, but we kind of did do our own review on that. So yeah, maybe I'll dust that stuff off. But
back to inaugural season versus the inaugural cruise versus these pre-inaugural things that they're starting with. So inaugural first year, the inaugural season, you might get a book in your room, you know, they're still fresh, the crew is still sort of working it out, right? So, you know, they're still engaged and they're not burnt out, but there can be some hiccups if you're on the ships early because they're still learning their way around. Where do they put the sugar? Where do they put the cleaning utensils, you know? So, the inaugural cruise has always been the one that's been celebrated in the passenger world of being the first one in to sleep in the beds and use the restaurants and the first one to get in the pool. And now they are tending to change those dates up. You know, it's like, oh, it's a pre-inaugural. Really, the inaugural cruise is still the inaugural cruise that you paid a premium for because you pay more for the inaugural cruise. Even the inaugural season is a little bit more expensive than maybe jumping on a 3-year-old ship elsewhere that's just as nice and new. But you're one of the first, you know, during that first year to be on on the newer ships. So it's a premium price tag, and it's sort of a bait and switch.
I think it is, and I think it's a marketing problem more than anything else. Like, because I get it, they can't always promise when the ship is going to be delivered, and they can't guarantee like you're a year or two out from delivery. Like that's a long distance from the dartboard to try to hit that bullseye. And so okay, we can't be too hard on them about that, but I think where the problem is in the marketing of it, because they're like, oh, your cruise that was the inaugural cruise that you booked, that you were all excited about it, is no longer the inaugural. Well, but really they're saying, don't worry, it really is still the inaugural.
Well,
and it's like
the interesting thing about our Star of the
No.
Seas, and our Star of the Seas, not only, so we have a 7-day booked. It's the inaugural cruise on
We
the
do.
31st of August.
Big reveal.
Right, but they booked they created 3 more pre-inaugural cruises before ours. 2 4-days and a 3-day. And they kept rolling them out. Oh, it's going to be here even earlier. So we're going to add it at 3-day. Oh, it's going to be here even earlier. Here's another 4-day. So there are 3 cruises before we're on the inaugural.
Yeah.
That's...
Why do we have these hurt feelings? Because is there really a sense that we're... I mean, I guess it's like that man on the moon kind of thing, where like you really want to be the first footprint. You want to be Neil Armstrong, I guess.
Oh man, only person ever landed on the moon is Stanley Kubrick.
I'm sorry, the moon landing was not fake. Get with it, guys. Sorry. Drink your pina coladas and shut up. Those are our pina colada cups that you're drinking out of, by the way, from our very first cruise. Did you know that?
No.
The Norway, the SS Norway, 1997, July.
Good cruise.
Yeah.
I probably wasn't alive for the first inaugural on the Norway, but
1960, it launched, I think.
I was not alive for
Yeah.
the first inaugural cruise of the Norway. But back to, so we were booked on the very first inaugural for Star of the Seas on the 31st. And they got the ship a little early, and they said, okay, we're going to add a pre-inaugural. You're still the inaugural that we had paid a premium for, 7 days. So they put a 4-day in. Then what they do, they put another 4-day in. Then they put a 3-day in. So they've got 3 cruises before we jump on, let alone the whole, from the shipyard transatlantic over to Florida.
They better do a damn good job of like swag and like, here's an inaugural lanyard. And...
So that's Royal that we have, right? Is we were on the Royal Caribbean inaugural Star of the Seas, 31st of August. And now, boom, 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 the news comes in. And the parent company is Royal of Celebrity. And they just did the same thing to the Xcel. So those of you on the inaugural Xcel cruise, guess what? It's not the inaugural anymore.
Yeah, is this becoming a pattern, within the brand? Because it seems, unique to that brand situation. So is this something going on at the head office where somebody had a brilliant idea on a Monday morning before they had their coffee?
Yeah, it's not a way for to really make those that are scoping out your brand and really want to be loyal to you when you bring on a new ship to treat them. It'll be interesting to see what happens on these inaugurals, to see if maybe they try to make up for it somehow.
I mean, the inauguration is a big deal. It's like, you only get one first chance to make a second impression again.
That's what they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, it kind of reminds me of Disney. I said, oh, it's the 50-year celebration for
Right.
like 5 years in a row.
Exactly. That's exactly right. It was all merchandising.
How long is this going to go on, guys? Until we sell all this terrible merch that we bought.
So we had the Star of the Seas, Royal Caribbean, parent company of Celebrity. Celebrity now has moved their Xcel up. It'll be interesting to see, if they add another one on the Xcel like they did on the Star of the Seas. They added 3 before the inaugural. It's a lot. A lot of different ships, and it's like
There should be there should be a
sailors.
sad disco ballad about this problem. Like
A sad disco ballad.
yeah,
I don't have any sad disco ballads. I've never.
yeah, like when will I see you again?
It's not sad.
The next time we launch our ship twice in a row.
Okay.
It's because it's like people get all in their feels about this. It's like the maiden voyage. This is like kind of a big deal. I mean, it's not the maiden voyage because usually I guess it comes across from Italy, and technically that's the maiden voyage. But you know.
Well, the other interesting fact is the NCL, they didn't cancel their maiden voyage, their inaugural across the ocean. But guess what? It was supposed to come into Boston, and it came into New York.
Oh.
So you've got, and it was like 2 days longer than it was. So you had people having to cancel the day of departure. And they'd already checked their bags. I mean, it was pretty wackadoodle. I mean, come on, cruise lines. You gotta give us a little bit of respect about our vacation time and our time off when we are trying to hook up on a cruise ship, hook up with a cruise ship.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess the lesson to be learned is just be careful when you book these inaugurals. Yeah, it sounds fun, but also sometimes when you get on these inaugural ships, everything's not working. Princess had an issue with some of their technology not working. They realized that the kids club area couldn't be turned on due to, I think, safety issues. It's being removed from their next star, Princess. So, I mean, the inaugural cruises are not normally perfect service-wise, but you get to be the one to go in and test drive it until you're not, because everybody else gets to come in before you. Please. 4th of July and our anniversary, the 3 nights.
Sorry, I had too many French fries last night. Have you heard about this Carnival? The head office now is telling people that their food on Carnival is good enough. That's pretty much literally what they said.
It's good enough, but not meant to be good.
Yeah, it's not. They said
it's not meant to be good.
They said we are self-aware that our food sucks, but we don't. But it is what it is. People still eat it, so.
Yeah, they said something that they're like the.
Great marketing, guys.
Yeah, the average food guy's food: hamburgers and French fries.
Yeah.
You do like French fries.
I don't know who's ever releasing these statements over there at Carnival. They should give this guy a paid 6 months vacation. And ultimately, it'll be better for the bottom line.
John Hild, here you getting called out.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
And not only is our food good enough, just shut up and eat it. Basically, that's what you're telling me.
Shut up and eat it and drink your way across.
And drink your grapefruit juice, which I'm now going to charge you for also.
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
Wow.
The fun ships? I don't know. Maybe they're the dumb ships.
Carnival, you're getting called out.
I'll pack my bikini.
Okay.
Which reminds me, have you heard of this new documentary they have coming out about bikinis?
No.
Yeah. It's a 2-part series.
Okay.
And I hear it's quite revealing.
Okay.
So we have
because we already talked about the Star Princess.
No, I know. We have the Star Princess, and then we saw this thing.
We have MSC.
Wait, let's take them through the whole thing of what actually happened.
Okay, so
Right,
we had the MSC cruise booked.
Right, this 3-day.
And when we were on the last 7-day MSC, what did we book for next year?
And I was always throwing shade at 3 days because I was 3 days, what's the point? You pack, you unpack, you pack again, it's done. But then we tried one and I was like, I'm going to hate it. And I actually loved it.
Yeah.
What was our first? It was MSC Seashore.
Seashore does the 3 nights, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and you're back Sunday.
So it was great. We had a blast because it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it, but it's just it gives you that cruise experience, but it's just it's a long weekend essentially on a cruise. It's great.
It really is. And we were annual pass holders at Disney, and then their prices went up so high for their, hotels. We'd go in on a Friday, Saturday night, spend the day at Disney, but we can jump on Seashore for about the same in Yacht Club.
So
the same weekend.
That was
interior.
That was an interior cabin we did, and that was our first Yacht Club interior cabin.
Yeah.
And
first interior ever.
We were our first interior ever. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The closest thing we came to that was the little cabin we had on the SS Norway, the fjord, on the fjord deck.
Ocean view with windows.
So it had windows, This one didn't even have windows, and so we were like, I don't know if we're gonna like it, and it was actually pretty cool.
I never slept so well in my life as I
Yeah,
did on that
it's
interior
cozy,
cabin.
it's quiet,
Yeah.
and it's a good way to do yacht club because the savings are like
Huge.
pretty massive.
Then we tried it again for a 3-night, and they upgraded us because of our status. So we got upgraded for free. And
This next one we booked, you're talking about.
no, we did 2. We did an
Did we
interior
really?
3-night, and then we came back and did another one, and they upgraded us in the cabin. So we didn't do an interior that one. We were booked on it, and they needed the cabin. So
Huh.
for the move up program.
It was like the second inaugural interior cabin that we did.
Then we were looking. I was like, oh, the 4th of July is like the weekend, and then it's our anniversary. So I was looking at Disney, and it was just crazy for us to go over there. And I'm like, hey, why don't we go over Thursday?
Why don't we go over Thursday? And
Do a
that's nice.
3-night again.
It's nice to be able to take a Thursday, Friday off.
And Friday's already a
To
holiday.
cram a vacation in,
Yeah.
and it's just working with the calendar, and so you're not missing as many days from work. And we live in Florida, so we have a lot of these great options.
Yeah. Save a lot of money on airfare. That's why we can go yacht club by the time you price it out. For those of you that have to pay
money
for the
and
airfare.
time.
Yeah. And then, so we had that. We've got the Explorer booked that we booked on the last MSC.
Well,
Ship
hold
for-
on now, because what happened was we were like, okay, let's do World America. Let's look at World America. No, let's look at Explorer.
We were looking at December for my birthday cruise.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, we were trying to figure out what to do, and we had. Oh, I know what it was. This is how it went.
You guys shut up.
No, keep going. Give him help. So we had the 3-night booked for our anniversary, but when we had done the last yacht club cruise, remember we had a 10-day on Princess booked that we had canceled
did.
and decided to go to yacht club instead for pricing. And we were like, you know what? We want to eventually try Princess's suite product, and we got a phenomenal price for my birthday week.
Yeah.
So we moved that to the first week of December. That's when we normally cruise. And it's the weekend after Thanksgiving, and we got a steal. It's not an inaugural cruise, it's inaugural season.
Well, what is anymore these days?
Yeah, for Star Princess. And it's the second ship in their line of...
That's why it's bad marketing, because you water it down like that, it's not special anymore, and then people are like, "Pfft, whatever."
Yeah, it's like, but we were excited. We got a really phenomenal price, like thousands off for that week. And we're in a suite. We're in one of their basic suites, so we get to try their new ship within a ship concept. We've not been on Princess in quite a few years. We used to cruise them a lot, and then when Carnival bought them out, it just sort of changed the brand a little bit. It wasn't really our love boat, and I wanted to give it a try again. I want to like them. So we had that booked. So we had that for December. Then when we were on our last MSC, as we said in our last video, we were looking at the World America,
We were.
but we ended up trying the Explorer because we got a really good Miami to Miami round trip for 2026.
Yeah, we tell that
My
story in
birthday.
our previous episode of Sandy Sunday. Go check that out if you're interested in why that happened. But, I don't know. I guess at one point we were like, oh, wait, Princess Star and now Royal also has a ship coming out called the Star.
Star
First of all, I have a problem with that, guys. Like, I'm not sure how that happened, but
Bad
that
marketing again, guys. It's,
really bad. Like, okay, wow. Like, I'm curious to know. I want to research how that happened, but that's just a capital mistake, I think. But either way, I was like sort of intrigued. I was like, okay, we should just do the stars.
yes.
Let's just sail with the stars. So
Sail
we're
every
doing
starship out there.
If it's the Starship Enterprise.
That's our next one. We
Yeah.
didn't tell you.
So I like this idea, even
Compare the
though
stars.
on the face of it, it's very superficial, it's superficially motivated, but I like that because nothing is ever really that superficial.
Yeah.
I mean, in the maritime community, nomenclature is important, guys. And I don't know. I think the naming of a ship is just, it's something
How
special.
about you? Do you think it's odd that there's Star of the Seas, there's Star Princess? I think it's a little bit weird.
I'm not sure
It's
why
like-
they did it. Again, I'm
and
like,
they brought names back out of the past to do
mean,
this.
well, I'm not so opposed to that. Like Queen Mary 2, that was kind of cool. You know,
The
how they did QE2.
Yeah.
Like that can work really well, I think, for a brand.
That was like Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
so anyway, where was I going with this? I don't know. So
we've got another star ship
yeah,
booked.
right.
And we're gonna compare the stars.
Even though it's Princess, which we used to love, our first Princess cruise was the Grand back in '99, I want to say.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
That's the picture.
Again, it was its
I have a
first year.
picture of it on the wall back there because I really loved that ship. At the time, it was the biggest ship in the water, and I want to say it was maybe 100,000 gross tons, like maybe not even, just over somewhere in there, 99,000 gross tons or so. I forget, but it's a really nice ship. It's really stylish. It's really, and my takeaway on Princess has always been that. Again, we haven't done Princess in a long time. How many years has it been since we were on a Princess cruise? Full disclosure.
Almost 10.
So a lot can happen to a brand in 10 years. So we're really curious about this next cruise. But when we parted ways with Princess, for no particular reason, 10 years ago, my takeaway on it always was they do everything pretty well. Did they do anything amazingly great? I don't think so. Did they get anything horribly wrong?
I know
I
one
don't
thing
think so.
they do incredibly well.
What?
Their fettuccine Alfredo on their
tableside
menu.
fettuccine. Let's see if they still do that.
I don't know. Well, they don't do it tableside anymore, but they've still got it.
Who was our favorite
And-
waiter that did that? Genovese?
Yeah, Genovese.
Yeah.
They would do it tableside for us, and then they
I
also
never
had,
forget a fettuccine Alfredo.
I'm really excited, you guys. So the thing is, I seem to recall, and maybe I'm wrong because it was so long ago, that they had these delicious English muffin, egg, ham, cheese sandwich situations on Princess.
Yep, I think they still have it.
Let me know in the comments, guys, if those things are still banging.
And where do we find them on the big ship?
Where do we get them? I remember they had them in like some cafe.
Yeah, and it's like they've got a lot of new dining places that we're going to go explore. So that's why we got to bring you, Sandy, in to fly over and tell us where everything is, so that we don't walk all around looking for it. You can do the bird view.
I'm going to keep you food reviewers honest.
Okay, sounds good. We'll
But-
look for the egg breakfast sandwiches. They were really good. And the International Cafe is where they used to be.
But Royal has them too.
Oh, they do?
They do. In the Central Park Cafe.
Oh, that's right. So, and
But my problem with them is they don't cook the egg enough. They cook their eggs like,
Runny?
sunny side, runny.
Okay.
You take a bite, it runs down your elbow.
I sort of like that, but I know you don't like it because your tummy.
Nope.
So what else? Where are we? Is that all the cruises that we have booked? Did we forget any?
We have MSC Seashore. We have the Royal Caribbean, Star of the Seas.
Superstar.
We have Princess, Star Princess. And we have Explora 1, the original ship. For now, that's all we've got.
We've got a lot of ships. That's all we have.
Yeah.
That's all we got for you, folks.
Yeah, that's all we've got. I mean, we'll add some more in.
We got a lot of ships in the water, though.
Yeah, I want to try Princess again, see if we like it. I want to figure out these big ships, figure out. I wouldn't mind jumping back on the Divina, or the Grandiosa is coming to Florida on MSC. I'd like to try their. I don't know about World America. I think I want to go backwards. I'm going to go try the big ships on Royal, because that's what they do best. I like the small ships on MSC, so I don't think I need to go on their grand ships. So the good thing about booking cruises early is being able to price shop and get reductions. And we were able to take advantage of quite a few price reductions. I don't know if you're aware about what we've been able to save.
No.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And I don't know on the inaugural cruise for Royal Caribbean Star of the Seas, I don't know if it's because they changed that inaugural date or not, but we just saved a whole lot of money. We don't have a suite book. We've just got a balcony. And so We have a guaranteed ocean view balcony booked. So we haven't been assigned our cabin yet.
I'm always confused on how these guarantee things work. So how does that work? Because it's like guarantee versus, you know, and
Picking your cabin.
I'm never sure what it means, and I don't know if different cruise lines use different nomenclature for this. That
They can, but I am comfortable enough to write it out. And we've done guarantees quite a few in our past history. I don't know if Wayne knows as much as how I have booked our cruises, but it's generally a price savings if you're okay with them putting you wherever they want. Once your cabin is assigned, most cruise lines will allow you to change within that category if you don't love the location. So you can go, hey, I don't like where it is. Is this one available? If there's another cruise cabin available in your category, you can change it. So, but we've been pretty lucky for the Royal Caribbean ship. It was cheapest because it was the inaugural cruise. It was very expensive. So we talked about it. We sort of threw it in last minute and decided to go on the guarantee cabin, but they had two types of balcony guarantee. So they had an XN, and we booked the XB. So Wayne has said that he does not like looking at the interior of the cabins. So Wayne's preference has not been looking into the neighborhoods, like the Central Park. You can have a balcony that looks over Central Park. The majority of those cabins on the ship are those infinity cabins that we don't like.
I don't like that style of balcony personally.
Yeah.
We talk about that back in our Ascent video. I think it was the Ascent review. Like, if you're interested in, our take on that style of cabin, check that video out. But not for us. But I will say that looking inside the ship, down onto that little, boardwalk promenade, it is cool because it is so novel. And I like that they did this, and it was kind of something they pioneered, I want to say. And so I do think it's worth doing and trying because it is unique.
I will say one thing though, on the new ship on Star of the Seas, that area has activated for a huge water park for the kids, and it's going to be loud. Before, it wasn't really utilized as much. They had like the carousel out there, and you had a little bit of noise. What I'm hearing on the newer ships with this water park, and their family staying out there all day long, and you're going to have a lot of noise. So I didn't want to take the chance of getting one in that area yet until I know the noise. I wouldn't have minded Central Park as much as the family suite area. But so with that in play, we, instead of XN, because that's guaranteed neighborhood, so you're going to get one of the two neighborhood balconies. We did XB, which means waterfront, waterside. So we will have a water view. It could be an infinity, or they also have quite a few traditional balconies in that. Yeah. So your room's a little bit smaller, but you have an outside balcony, which we prefer to that infinity. The infinity, I think, would be great for Alaska, where it's cold out, or maybe the fjords, because you do have a whole wall of windows and you can open it for a little bit, but it would get pretty cold. I don't like opening it in the Caribbean because it gets hot as heck in your cabin. It turns the AC off when you open that infinity window. So we will see what type of cabin we get. It's going to be quite a while before we get that assigned. And then we'll figure out if we go in for a bid up to see if we can get a suite.
Yeah. But I mean, I was really torn about, because when Icon came out, I personally was just like, wow, this has gone way too far. Just, our ship, I think there's a point at which an ocean-going vessel becomes so big that it becomes impossible to design it with any kind of style or elegance or beauty. And in our modern world, that has been lost. The narrative of beauty, yes, things need to be functional. They need to serve a purpose. They need to make money in the case of a cruise line. But they also need to be aesthetically pleasing. And for me, if you don't have that connection, I'm probably not interested in your cruise line.
Well,
I was really torn about booking this.
And it's, I mean, we have that aesthetically pleasing cruise booked, Yacht Club and the Explorer cruises, the suite cabins, that's good. I don't mind going on. I sort of liked having the kids in the Yacht Club last time because it brought in a new energy. Yeah. And that's what I sort of see with these big ships. I want to give it a try again. because it is sort of in your face energy, get out of your cabin, you want to go, go, go. It's a different experience than just hanging in the suite, being pampered. You know, I don't mind an active vacation too, and that's sort of what I'm going into this with, that idea of we're going to go,
well,
go, go.
and having started this cruise channel, which has been a great thing for us because it's broken us out of our shell of always doing the same thing that we're comfortable with. It's forced us out of our comfort zone and be like, all right, well, let's try this, let's try that. So we have some expanded awareness so that we're bringing good content, valuable content to the channel. Because if we're not doing that, then, you know, what's the point? But so...
Well, we saved, back to the savings of booking in advance, we saved 15% on our fare. So it was almost $700 savings for us.
Yeah, and it was, which will hopefully be an inaugural cruise, although they've already punted on this, right?
Well, yeah, they've got a couple ahead of time, but we will be
which kind of pissed us off, right?
Yeah.
Because that was part of the incentive for booking it. We're like, wow, the inaugural cruise.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. And then, you know, it's kind of like that scene in Vacation where he's like, oh, you didn't order the metallic mint pea green color on your family truckster?
What was that?
No, that's not what I ordered. Okay, well, that's how it came, so that's what you're getting.
Car.
Eugene Levy? Is it Levy or Levy?
Levy.
Second city, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, Canada. Hey.
Hey.
We miss you guys.
The groundlings.
We miss you guys down here in Florida.
Yes, we do. We love Canada's Canucks.
And let me just tell you, we just miss you guys.
Now, I'm excited. We'll see. Royal, we're watching you. You got to make up for these added pre-inaugural, pre-inaugurals prior to the people that
Not a good look.
booked the week
Figure out how to market that
on
better.
board for you to get your staff in order and to be the first on board. Not a good marketing look.
That's what you bought.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you put your credit card on the table for, you know? And then they're like, oh, you're not getting that. It's like, well, okay, fine. And I get it that sometimes has to happen and that they can't control it maybe. But my question is, do they have more control over this than we realize?
Well, the other thing about it is all these short cruises, guess what they do? So I want you guys to tune back to see our review of these cruises because we're paying for it. All these short cruises are going to
paying for it, all right.
Yep. It's like we're paying top dollar for this to be on an inaugural cruise to try it so that you guys know what it's like to try it. But they normally pack these 4-day and 3 days with all the influencers out there and give them a free ride with everything included. So they're going to tell you it's great because they didn't pay for it.
Yeah.
They're giving them a free cruise for them to do content.
Pay my hard-earned dollars to go on these inaugural cruises that I am paying for with my money so that I can give you guys an honest, unbiased review that is not unduly influenced by greasy french fries.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So it may be great to see a first look, but to actually get a true review of what you're paying for as a choosy cruiser in the cruise cabana, come see our review. We're going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We'll give you our ups and downs.
Yeah. No fooling.
Now, I will say, there were other cruise lines that I think it was Princess's first cruise, the Sun Princess. It was a new class of ship, and it didn't show up for the inaugural. So people were scheduled to go, and it canceled. So
wow,
that's the other way. When you're booking inaugural, just be aware. It may not be the first, it may not be the last. So you may not want to pay what they're really trying to get paid for on these inaugurals. So we'd saved quite a bit of money on that. And then the Princess, we really saved money.
Yeah.
We saved a boatload of money on that. And that's for a suite cabin. We're somebody on one of our Facebook pages alerted everybody, hey, price drop. And we went in and I don't know if you know how much we saved.
I don't know.
We saved, let me calculate the amount. We saved over 25%, $1,907 off that suite. It's the cheapest suite that we've ever paid for.
Yeah.
They're entry level. It's not available now, it's sold out, but we got a really good deal on it. And so both of these, one was booked right through Princess. So I have my Princess vacation planner that I called. She was able to reduce the price for me, no problems. The other one we went through Cruises and More. We like Cruises and More. You're a great cruise line. Pat over there is our agent. So with Princess Cruises, we had booked directly with Princess. And I've got my vacation planner that I've used for years. And I saw a huge price drop from one of the Facebook pages that we're on, and Cruise Critic. We love both those areas. And somebody alerted us, hey, price drop, price drop. We went in and saved almost $2,000 on our week cruise. We're in a suite, so it was a little bit expensive, but it was comparable to what we were going to pay on MSC. So we decided to try Princess. We got a $2,000 savings, and this is actually going to be our cheapest cruise in a suite cabin that we've had. And it includes everything. It's on their new inaugural season of the Star Princess. And it was really easy to just call the vacation planner. She was able to drop it. Now, sometimes you can't get the low price. You know why? When it's out there priced and all of a sudden you're like, oh, look at that price.
No, but I guess the moral of the story here is you got to be hawking those prices all the time after you book your cruise and checking in on what they're offering and what's happening to the numbers. And if you see a drop, like you gotta act on it.
You gotta act. Because sometimes it's only for new bookings, so it's not available to you. But so this one with Princess, I was able to call my Princess cruise planner and she was able to get it for me. No harm, no foul, right? So we saved almost $2,000 on that one. And then you want to obviously be looking at your excursions and your whatever add-ons you might have and book them when they're on sale. But if they go for even more on sale, like 35% to 50% off, you can go in, cancel the one you had and rebook the new discount.
Thank you for tuning in once again. This has been great.
And we like that you don't tune in just sometimes, but you subscribe and you show up for us. Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate that. And, thank you very much for being you. Let us know in the comments how beautiful it is to be you.
Yeah.
We'd like to know. Because we wanna be beautiful too. Right, Big Woo?
You got it.
Oh, you went. He's cool. Let's let Sleeping Woo lie.
Yes.
Anything else you want to add, Stacia?
No.
Before we sign off and call it a weekend?
Nope. Just enjoy your Sunday afternoon. Happy planning your cruises. And I look forward to seeing you next Sunday. So Sandy Sunday is coming to a close.
Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in to Sandy Sunday.
Yeah.
With me, Sandy the Seagull. I do my talk show every Sunday, sometimes.
And we love having you watch our shenanigans and critique us. Let us know what you want Sandy to bring in next week.
It's time to sing the Seagull song.
Yeah.
It's that time again in the show where it's time to sing the Seagull song.
I don't know the song, and I'm not allowed to even sing in the shower. So.
What?
Yeah, I don't know the song.
We talked about this all week. You're not ready to sing?
I'm not ready. What song is that?
You mean we're not? I've been practicing for what? All week long in the shower. I've been practicing for what? My upstairs neighbors are like, this guy has got to go.
The producers of the show, they don't tell me anything. I just sort of come in and have to ad-lib. So
what you talking about? What you crazy lady? You are the producer.
What song are you talking about?
Are you hearing this?
What song are you talking about?
The Sandy the Seagull song. Oh my God! You know what? Forget I mentioned it. We'll talk about it after the show.
You go ahead and sing it, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Yeah.
You can't. It's a 2-part harmony. What's the matter? I can't.
I don't know the song. You've never shared it with me.
We've been talking about. Okay, look, we're gonna next week.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Next week we'll have our go poo together.
That's a wrap.
Let's go get some fries, guys.